everybody, happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. I wanted to pop on here just for a minute because I'm filming some videos, obviously. Wearing a blazer on the weekend, feeling fancy. And I wanted to talk to you about the main thing that I see from so many people is they feel like they need more effort in order to make their first or next 10K. And I want to let you know that it is not an effort problem. It's a strategy problem. When I'm talking with most of the people who are joining 5-Figure Foundation right now, what I see is that they are putting a lot of effort into their businesses. One of the newest people who joined just last week, she had been posting consistently on TikTok, and she was actually posting more than I post, more than I would ever recommend her post. She was posting every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. And she was like, my goal is to get to 3 times of posting a day. And she hadn't run any consults yet in this year. She had had her business for a year and a half. And when I was looking at her business, I'm like, oh, this is not an effort issue. She was posting all the time. She had consistent flow. But the reason why she hadn't made 10K so far was because she didn't have a strategy that was actually being effective for her. She was using, and again, God, I love chat. Chat is fantastic. It is an incredible resource for all of you. And one of the things that I see is that people think that you can just ask a bot to figure out a strategy for you, and that is what's going to take it to your first or next 10K. But the issue is every single business is different, and a lot of times when you ask chat about what's going to take your business to the next level, what it's going to take to grow, it'll just look at other people who are making money online, and it won't do this specifically for service-based business owners, and it won't create things that actually work for your audience. So a lot of times what I was seeing with her issue was, it wasn't the fact that she was making content, because her content was good. She had content going out literally every single day. She was showing up live, sometimes multiple times a day. So it wasn't the effort that was there, but the strategy that chat had given her to create all of this content wasn't working. And when you think about your business, you want to make sure that you have a strategy that's created for your service, not just for anybody that's making money online. So what happened is she was posting all of this content, but she was lacking critical elements of each post that were actually taking her funnel of this huge social media platform. She had grown it to, I think, 1,000 followers since November. Like, it was a big audience that, on my mind, I'm considering that to be a decent sized audience, but the people weren't getting a clear communication on this is how I buy. They weren't being told to buy. She wasn't making offers consistently. And the wording that she was using was really high level. She had been in the coaching industry for years. She had actually quit her job and been full-time in her business for a year and a half. So she had the time. That's why she was creating so much content. But the issue was the content wasn't converting because it wasn't clear and compelling to how working with her would save her time, money, and energy. And I see this for so many people. What I see is like you are speaking a lot to the tools and the things that you've learned. That would be like when I first started coaching, I was talking about the model and how all you need to do is shift your mindset, and that's going to create these amazing results in your life. But I wasn't clear about exactly what those results were. I wasn't clear about what problem my coaching was specifically solving for them that was costing them or saving them time, money, and energy. And because of that, what happened is I wasn't converting, and neither was this client. But she signed up for 5-Figure Foundation literally a week ago. It has not been long. And I think that when it happened, I think it was like she'd signed up, and then 72 hours later, she shifted her content just a smidge. She was adding the things that I told her to put in her content. Her offer was clearer, and somebody booked a consult within 72 hours. This is stuff, yes, my program is a full year, but it does not take a full year to get results. My goal is that you make your money back in the first month, which I'm also including that mini course, the Money Back Kickstart mini course, so you can actually get 3 different strategies to make your money back within your first 30 days. But I also go through, and my goal is that every single person who joins 5-Figure Foundation makes a minimum of 10K in the next 90 days. I just give you this huge buffer of having all this time within your business so you can get a whole year to compound those results, make not just your first next 10K, but you can make 10K every single 90 days after that. And my goal is that it feels simple, it feels sustainable. The first time that you go through and you use my marketing strategy, it's gonna feel a little clunky. You're gonna need a little bit of time to get used to it. You might have other circumstances in your life that come up, and I wanna make sure that I am supporting you for a long enough time for you to create results that last you a lifetime, that you always know how to make money in your business, regardless of whether it's this business or another one. So within her first 72 hours, she gets a consult. The consult signs with her and she has a follow-up with them next week, but we're 90% sure that this person is gonna buy. And for her, going a year and a half, throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to use chat to create these awesome strategies was not working for her. She needed my eyes on her business. She needed to understand what was actually driving buyers forward, not just viewers, not just followers, but actually people buying on her social media. And she's not even on Instagram, she's on TikTok. So for you guys, if you're on different forms of social media, this works cross-platform. It's not just something that works on Instagram. Even though that's my main platform, that doesn't have to be yours. I have seen this work on LinkedIn. I've seen this work on YouTube. I have seen this work regardless of social media, but you need to have a strategy in order to make your effort actually create results. So if you are thinking about joining, the other thing that's really cool, if you decide to sign up right now, is tomorrow we are starting our Q1 Visibility Accelerator Challenge. You guys might have heard me talk about this, but within your business, what's happening is you need to be doing two things with your audience. You need to be nurturing the current people that are following you, and you need to be bringing in new humans. You need to be meeting as many people as possible, talking to them, making offers. And that is what I see as a huge gap, is people think that they can just post to their current audience and that's going to be enough to not just make, maybe that's enough to make 10K, but not 10K consistently over and over and over again. And that's my goal, is that anyone in 5-Figure Foundation is hitting that 5 figures consistently. So for you, when you're thinking about growing your business, if you want to get more eyes on your content, you need to get in front of new people. You need to be pitching your offer and making that offer to different people instead of just your people. And that's one of the first things that we're going to be doing in 5-Figure Foundation during this Q1 Accelerator. We're going to be pitching. We're going to be talking about how to display your services. A lot of times, especially if you're a life coach, which a lot of my people are because I was a life coach, doesn't necessarily need to be the case, but for you, one of the things that is the biggest issue in stopping people from working with you is that people don't know what coaching is. They think it's therapy, and therapy is wonderful and great, but they need to know that coaching is very, very different. You're going to be moving every single week. You've got goals that you're working towards. That's why it's typically is sometimes a larger investment than therapy. I'm not going to say always, because a lot of times we start and we're priced at the exact same point as therapy instead of actually being a differentiator. But you want to be pricing yourself and be thinking about how you're different, and you want to show people why it's different. Because a lot of times what happens is people are like, okay, I'm just paying you to show up and talk for an hour. That's a cost of my time and that's a cost of my money. And you do not want to be seen as a cost. You want to be seen as something that they're going to get a return from their investment. And so you've got to talk about the intangible benefits of working with you. And that's what we do when we create in 5-Figure Foundation. So in that Q1 Accelerator, we're going to be getting you showcasing your coaching live. You're going to be able to pitch your offer live. And you're also going to grow your network, either online or in person, but you need to get in front of new people. You need to find new humans that you can talk about your offer with. Because when I talk about sending DMs, you might be like, my audience is literally only friends and family. That's what it was when I first started. That's what it is for most of my people when you first start. You create this new audience as time goes on, but typically you don't get new followers that are interested in what you do unless you go viral, or it takes just a really long time. And so that's why you need to get out there and talk about what you do, find new people that could be an interest interested in your offer. And that's what we're doing in this Q1 Visibility Accelerator. I already sent out everybody the pre-work, so they are going to get that. They got that this past week. I'm pinning that to the portal today. So if you're in 5-Figure Foundation, I see some of you guys in here. So if you want to go ahead, I'm going to be pinning that later today. There's a video and a worksheet that goes along with it to do the pre-work to see. And we're actually going to be tracking. We're going to see how many followers you have at the beginning of March. And we're going to see if that increases by April. My goal is that you double your reach, which might not always be talking about like doubling your actual follower count, but it's getting more eyes on your content. Because again, followers are a vanity metric. Likes and views are a vanity metric. That's not something that is always going to actually bring you clients, but we want to be growing that still. We don't want to just ignore that just because it's a vanity metric. But my goal isn't that you go viral. It's not that you create thousands and thousands of followers, because I've had so many clients, people come to me with 18,000, 26,000, 33,000 followers and have made no money, $0 in their business. Whereas I was putzing around at 1,000 followers and making 6 figures. And they were like, what is happening? I thought if I had more followers, I was going to make more money. And that is not the case. You need to be using your strategy on your social media. You need to have a way to convert those people. You need to actually close your consults with a compelling offer that gets people to say, oh my gosh, this is a no-brainer. And those are all the things that we do in 5-Figure Foundation. So if you're thinking about joining, make sure you sign up before the challenge starts tomorrow. It's going to be epic. I'm so freaking excited about it. And if you have any questions, please message me and I will get back to you ASAP so we can get you making money this quarter and so much more this year.